Is it hard to communicate with a customer what to get exactly what they want, or?
Some people it is, some people it isn't. Some people really just believe in the whole let the artist do what they do.
Right.
And
right.
those are the best people to work with. Some people you kind of gotta explain things and redirect their thought,
Right.
and you know, some people I'll just tell, wait until I'm done, and you know, you'll see.
Right.
So, yeah, every person's different. So.
Is there less or more pressure working on somebody else's stuff versus your own stuff?
I think probably more pressure working on my own, which isn't right. No, I've gotten used to working with other people's stuff so much that, you know, it's easier for me. I think you know, sometimes I get too picky with stuff, but that's my own battle. Part of being an artist.
Right.
And the thing with it too is like I know where the flaws are in it, but you know,
Sure.
if somebody else is gonna see them, you know, I'll try and fix things. But typically, I don't wipe stuff off or start over. Sometimes there's nothing you can do though if you're at a show and it's really windy or you know something. There's just a lot of elements outdoors that you can't control. So
Right.
that's where I try and direct a lot of my customers to come to the shop.
Right.
And you're gonna get a lot better.
Right. You know, and the interesting thing too is usually this goes on, you know, after the paint, it goes on top of the clear coat. You know, unless you're doing, I'm sure, something where you're going to do the whole paint job, then you clear coat over it.
Yep.
And then you got at a show, you got wet paint with people going around, and obviously, customer potentially rode it to the show, needs to ride it home. You know.
Yep. And there, you know, there's really not too many issues. Like I've had people immediately drive away after doing it. You know, never had a problem. Sometimes you'll get a freeloader bug that'll take a ride home in the paint, but they'll once it dries, you can knock them off, and there's really no big deal. But there's different types of paint too. Like if you're gonna clear over it, or different ways of working with stuff too. So there's, you know, just like any other paint work, you gotta have the right thing for the right job.
Right. somebody come up and, you know, as you're cruising around in your car or whatever and go, oh, where'd you get that done? And you say, I did it, and they kind of have a hard time wrapping their head around that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people that'll tell me I'm too young to be doing this. You know, a lot of old guys, they're kind of surprised, but then, you know, once I start talking to them more about how I do it and, you know, how long I've been doing it, you know, somebody's got to keep this alive because, you know, this cool stuff ain't around anymore, and they start telling stories about when they were young and they remember seeing, you know, Ed Roth or Von Dutch or Larry Watson or any of these old timers, you know, the real innovators of what it's gotten to be.
Is there some key to, you know, color selection when you do? You don't want to get, you know, too many primary colors clashing or something like that, or how do you, you know, determine that? Or does a customer say, I want, you know, this color, and you think it's not going to go good, but you do it anyways, or what? Or do you talk them out of it, or how do you?
Well, a lot of times the customer will have something in mind, and, you know, if it's not going to work, I'll tell them that, because I don't want my name on something that's not going to look good, you know.
Right.
So I'll try and redirect them. You know, a lot of times it's based on what the car is, or if there's not much going on with the car, like it's a pretty blank canvas, you know, I'll look at the interior, see what colors are in the interior or on the wheels or anything around. Otherwise, you know, a lot of times they'll leave it up to me, and, you know, I'll do what I think is going to look good, and you know, they end up pretty stoked about it. So. That's about that.
That's pretty awesome looking. Alright, sweet. Let's see here. Now, the tricky part. Well, that was some pretty awesome striping, man. that really shows your talent. Really cool what you got going on. I'm stoked. I don't know if there's probably too many others in Minnesota that are doing this. So, but you get around the country enough with all the shows that you do that somebody can find you somewhere at some time. So go check out relicstripes.com, and that'll give like I said, I noticed you keep it pretty good about what shows you got coming up and stuff.
Yep, there's an events page on there. And,
so find out where he's going to be at. Hopefully he'll be somewhere close to you, or like I said, if you're doing Sturgis and stuff, maybe you'll be traveling up this way. Of course, he's in Austin, Minnesota, so that's just over north of the Iowa line. You're what, 20 miles east of Interstate 35, and only half a mile north of Interstate 90, right off Minnesota Highway 56. So if you're passing through, he's about the easiest guy to get to that I've done so far. So that's really cool. Just north of Interstate 90. So you can go to relicstripes.com. You got a Facebook page, which would be Facebook/Relic Customs with a K. Customs with a K. Of course, you can link to him through our site, wildwheels.webs.com. Check out our Facebook page. I'm sure there's links to you off probably the Scooter Trash Facebook page, because that was a great show. What's the next thing you got coming up?
Next weekend I'll be in Anoka for the Frankensteiner's Ball.
That's right, and this probably isn't going to get up before that, because it's already Wednesday. So after, what do you got coming up in November, December?
After that, I don't have anything.
Get a little break?
I'm gearing up for all the winter work for the paint jobs that I try and direct the bikes to come in when there's, out of riding season.
Right, sure.
And other than that, it will be the Grand National Roadster Show at the end of January.
Okay, and that's out in Pomona?
Yep.
Okay, and then you're going to be setting up at the Donnie Smith show?
Donnie Smith.